Many complex political partisan issues and simply raw emotion driving this increasingly polarized capital of ours. How will the president govern in the face of this irrational resistance that seems to get only more erratic? Joining us tonight, Congressman Matt Gaetz, member of the House Judiciary and Armed Services Committees. Congressman, good to have you with us. Your thoughts on what in the world is happening to the Democratic Party?
It is quite a lot to keep up with, Lou. First, Democrats voted for a wall. Then they said a wall was racist and immoral. Now, apparently, they don't even want President Trump to be able to talk about a wall in Congress and delivering the State of the Union address. And you look at what's going on in the world today. As you noted in your monologue, Venezuela is on fire, a country breaking down, a humanitarian crisis on our border, terrorists and special interest aliens trying to enter our country illegally. And what Nancy Pelosi is focused on is where Donald Trump can give a speech. I mean, give me a break. If there was any mistake the president made, it wasn't canceling Nancy Pelosi's trip to Afghanistan. I would have canceled her trip home from Afghanistan, because it just strikes me as a nonsensical thing to do with so many issues before the country, to focus on where the president will be standing when he convincingly makes the case that a border wall, that security on the southern border with Mexico should be the top priority of this Congress.
This border wall is now the centerpiece of what is a president confronting unprecedented resistance, unprecedented subversion from a party that is supposed to be the loyal opposition. There has never been the like of this in American history. It is stunning to watch. It is awful to hear. And it is in no way showing any signs of abating. What is the president to do here? And how must he govern?
He's going to have to use emergency funds at some point to get us out of this, Lou. There is no way for this president to just turn his back on the forgotten Americans who want safe streets, rising wages, and the rule of law to govern this country. And so we're going to have to find funds that have been lawfully appropriated for barriers, for security, for national defense. And we're going to have to use that money along the southern border, because the Democrats won't take a win-win. The president offered them a proposal that would have allowed them to win on an issue that they care about in DACA, while we got the border barrier that we needed. But they wouldn't even accept that. And, like, Lou, where is the Democrat proposal for border security? If they don't believe in a physical barrier, what the hell do they believe in? And why won't they put that on the floor? Why don't we see something to actually take action, rather than to sit around and tell the president he's got to walk down the street to give the State of the Union?
In if you will, in fairness, or at least to set the complete story here, Steny Hoyer contradicting the speaker, saying that he believed, for one, that the barriers were an important part of the solution. I know it's remarkable, but there it is.
Of course they are. Who doesn't believe this? Who believes that our border is less safe if we build a physical barrier? Who is it that believes that those caravans are going to be stopped by, a drone? I mean, these caravans are thousands of people, Lou, and, like, they don't stop. They keep forming, and every time the Democrats in Congress talk about amnesty, a few hundred more people go and join a caravan. And so, I think that what they're doing is dangerous for the country, and if we have some attack that occurs here because they didn't secure the border, the blood will be on their hands.
Well, the blood will be on their hands. The blood will also be on the hands of the previous speaker and his cadre of leaders in your House that you serve. I have to say, this president is faced, and I think you put it exactly correctly, there is only one way forward, and that is an honest, straightforward declaration of a national emergency, because that's where we are. We're looking at Venezuela, which is a nation afire right now, and the president, to his credit, recognizing the new interim president. Central America, nation after nation. It's not an accident that those caravans are being driven toward the United States southern border. There is the influence of China in this hemisphere. It goes on.
Iran? You look at Iran making a play in Venezuela?
Well, making a play, and also one of its warships scheduled to make a port call within the next 6 months. I mean,
so how are we supposed to solve any of these problems if we won't listen to the President of the United States? I mean, there has to be a win-win here for Republicans and Democrats.
Congressman, I seldom disagree with you. This is straightforwardly national security. It is straightforwardly the national security and that of our neighbors in Central America, Latin America, and this president has no choice but to act. And act, I am confident he will, But this is a time for, this nonsense with Nancy Pelosi. She has, this is a disgrace, and it's the disgrace that'll be borne by the Democratic Party.
I think a lot of these federal workers who are going to work and want to get paid will be very relieved if they saw this president say, you know what, enough of the games, enough of the pettiness. Yeah. This is a Speaker of the House that literally won't even open the door for me to walk in and deliver my address. So we're going to just start doing stuff. We're going to start checking things off the to-do list. We're going to get this wall built. We're going to start paying people who are patriots and showing up to work. And you know what? I think the country's ready for that.
I think the country is ready to get the wall built. I think the country is ready for this president to assert a national emergency to deal with a host of threats and challenges that we face. I don't think the country is ready for another deal in which the Democrats put forward a possibility that there will be a secure border. I don't believe that immigration can be meaningfully reformed unless that wall is actually built.
It makes every other problem easier.
The hell with any more games. I've had a belly full of what happens on Capitol Hill.
Well, we need to do other stuff, too. We need to E-Verify. We need to get rid of sanctuary cities. We need to stop giving entitlements, chain migration. But all of those problems get way easier to solve if you build a wall first. If you don't build the wall, then all of the reforms we would do in those other areas become far more difficult just because of the volume of people.
It's straightforward. We cannot in any way reform immigration. If we can't control immigration, we can't control immigration without a secure border. It is an unbreakable syllogism.
Absolutely. And I think the American people get that. And the question is whether or not Democrats will ever feel the pressure to bring something to the table to meet basic security needs of the country.
I still believe in the people of this country. And when those Democrats see how disgusted Americans are at the conduct of that Speaker of the House, and particularly toward this president, I think you're going to find new friends very quickly. Congressman, good to have you with us as always.